Welcome to the Build-A-Bear series, where instead of building soft toys, we are going to be building the archetypes that are found within Godforge. I'm going to give you a couple of examples from each archetype with some sort of different build strategies to help you boss Wave 3 and launch, depending on when you are watching this. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hello everyone, Ragewood here, back with another Godforge video, and today we are building Invokers, the healers and the support units that you can find within Godforge. Now the first question remains, how do you tell that someone is an Invoker? Well, just like all the others, we're looking for the symbol right here, and in this instance we're looking for sort of the green stave with the jewel in the crown, and if we click that, it will tell us that they are Invokers. They restore strength to your team and empower your allies, focusing on healing and enabling. And that is exactly what an Invoker does. So the main premise for building an Invoker is we want them to go fast, and we want to keep them on the battlefield to be able to do their healing and their buffs, etc. So lots of HP, lots of defense, maybe some resistance to prevent the control from themselves. Now there's really sort of two sorts of Invokers within the game. You've got sort of like your out and out sort of healers, and then you've got sort of like your speed manipulators. So someone like an Aphrodite, we might build slightly different to a Quetzalcoatl. Same with a Shamash, for example. I don't have a Shamash. You might build Shamash differently to an Isis. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at sort of your more healing focused, as well as just your out and out speed demons. Some other notable ones in lower categories. Isolde. Now, Isolde you will use an awful lot in the Caverns experience, and I imagine even in Fort Launch she's going to be pretty impactful. Again, the way you build her is not necessarily what her kit sort of leans towards. We'll come over that as well. And Imhotep is another standout Invoker here, but again, you'll build him similarly to some of the others. So let's jump into it, shall we? So we're going to start with Aphrodite. Now, to find out what Aphrodite is doing, we're going to click to her abilities. We're going to click on an ability, and we're going to click details to get the multipliers. So Aphrodite scales from attack, and then her ultimate is also scaling from attack. But it's going to be very common, as we sort of alluded to at the start here. We're not building her for attack. We don't care for the damage that she's going to bring. We just want her to go often and hang around to be able to do it. So we're going to be building her with survivability substats and a key focus on speed. Her leader bonus is giving us speed, and that is all you care about for Aphrodite. So removing the gear, mine's fully ascended, level 60, and so these are the base stats that we're starting off with. So starting at the top then, helmets. A few options. There's one that I really love in an ideal world. Long story short, you're looking for the most speed possible. However, if I got to pick the top stat, I'd be picking initiative here. Initiative with speed is what we would be looking for. Now, I know that this particular account is lacking in that, so I might not go for that. We might go for one of the other options, which is either defense or flat HP. This has initiative and some speed, which is nice, but I will just try and find an initiative top to begin with. So it wasn't leveled, but I did find an initiative helm with some speed. A little bit of resistance as well to protect ourselves, and some HP. Now another option I've got here is for this one here, giving us an extra 3 initiative, losing 2 speed, but we're also losing some resistance and an awful lot of HP for not much gain in the defense and the attack, which is why I've not gone down this route, sticking with the initiative helmet. So when it comes to shoulders, we're looking for something that's giving us either HP percentage or defense percentage with lots of speed. Now, in Aphrodite's case, because she wants so much speed, if you've got a defense percentage with 5 speed and a flat defense with 20, in that instance, I might take the flat defense just for the more speed. But as you can see, I've got a couple of pieces. This one is crit damage with lots of speed, not taking that. The obvious answer for me on this account is this one here that we used in the Disruptor video that was released yesterday. Definitely not recorded 5 minutes before this one. Because it's got a lot of speed HP percentage too. So this is out and out the best in slot for me. But something that I do consider is going for some falcon pieces where I can, if the difference isn't too bad. Now, in this crit damage set, for example, I'm gaining initiative and speed, so I'm getting a lot of initiative and only losing 4 speed. And if I can match that falcon set with another falcon piece, then the difference might give me more than the 4 that I'm losing. I might end up plus 10. The downside is you're losing a lot of survivability. So that's something that we're going to be weighing up as we go along. For now, I'm probably going to be keeping these shoulders on and looking for falcon elsewhere. Moving down to the chest pieces then, we're following a similar rule to the shoulders, where it's kind of open whether you go for defense percent or HP percent, just as long as we're getting some speed. Because again, that's all Aphrodite cares about, and some initiative so she can cast her ultimate as often as possible. So what we've done here then is we've picked this Kraken chest piece here, giving us 14 initiative, 16 speed, and some HP bonus. A little bit of attack to increase our damage, we don't really care about that, and crit rate. Another option we had was this one, giving us 2 more speed and a little bit up here, but again we were losing a lot of initiative and a lot of HP, which I didn't really care for 2 more speed and 23 accuracy, because we don't need accuracy in this build that we are doing. Now perhaps when we build Quetzalcoatl later, accuracy will become more of a factor, but for now we've gone for this. And the nice thing is as well, we've now got 2-piece Kraken. Now I wasn't aiming to get 2-piece Kraken here, but we've got it, so it's a nice bonus to have. When it comes to gloves, you can't actually get defense percent or HP percent. A little bit of flexibility here. All I care about really is what's going to give me the most speed. I'm not really fussed if it is crit rate or crit damage or flat HP or flat defense. Flat HP and defense would be ideal, but essentially I'm looking for whatever gives me the most speed. If we've got initiative as well, fabulous. But speed is what we care about most. So this has got 12 speed, 19 initiative, a little bit of HP there. So we're going to take that for now whilst we cycle through our other options. The combination of these 3, well, including the resistance actually, is fantastic for a support. When it comes to legs, speed is the only option. The highest rank that you can get with speed. So for me, I've got a couple of choices at the top here. I got the speed with some defense percent stats, which is very nice, and what we're going to put on for now. I have these piece here. Now, this is one of the first pieces that I got actually on this account. 4-star speed in Falcon set. Now, I am losing 100 defense, but if I can pair that up with perhaps the Falcon shoulders that we looked at earlier, and the difference isn't too drastic, then we might come back and put these on. But I'm going to put them on for now and then just see where we're at the end of the build. And then boots, once again, we want speed. Now I've got these 5-star boots here, which rolled very nicely in the HP percentage. And really across the board, to be fair, so we've thrown those on. So now this is what we're looking at on our Aphrodite. 256 speed, 188 initiative, fair amount of HP, fair amount of defense. But what we're going to do is we're going to come back to, was it these or was it these? Crit damage. So yeah, these were the ones that gave us the 16 speed, 10 initiative. So we're losing 4k HP and 600 defense, which is not cool, but we're gaining 11 speed. If I take these ones, I actually gain HP, still losing the defense, gaining 6 speed. Might be an idea. We're losing the Kraken set, but in this outcome, do we care for the Kraken set? This is actually a really tough one. I don't know what the right answer is. I'm going to equip them for now. But I think if you're stuck with that decision, either way you could go. I guess it comes down to what you're fighting and how quickly you're dying. But yeah, this is our Aphrodite build. When it comes to Aphrodite specifically, there are a number of weapons you can go for. Solar Flare is nice just because of the way her kit works. She will let people join in with her in her attack, and if you can get her to go fast enough and increase your divinity, etc. quickly enough, you can get this, so you get your core on multiple people, so multiple people will join your attack. So Solar Flare is a very nice one on Aphrodite specifically, but Invokers in general, World Split is nice, again because you're getting benefit everywhere when it comes to stats, including speed. It's one of the few weapons that will increase your speed. Now I don't know, it will increase at the start of battle supposedly, so again, potentially I'm getting like another 26 speed here on my Aphrodite, another 18 initiative, so fantastic weapon for Aphrodite. But any invoker that say that you want to go fast on, just gaining the speed outright is great. You could go for a Thunderbolt just to give them a bit of damage in these boss fights, make them a bit of useful but not essential. Shamshir I like because you're getting 12% turn meter after your ultimate, so again you can keep coming back. And then Arme no Nuboko or Mjolnir will either sort of, again, increase your usefulness in some fights, or just allow you to get your ult off quicker in the case of Mjolnir. Outside of that, for a speed sort of invoker, where we're not caring about healing, I think these sort of weapons are the ones that stick out for me. For the time being, we're going with World Splitter, and then this is our Aphrodite build. At the end of it, we'll come to the sets and stuff after we do the second part. So, Invoker Part 2 then. So we're going to use Quetzalcoatl for this, and this is going to apply to mainly people that are going to be doing some sort of healing. So we've got Quetz, we've got Isis in this scenario as well. Once again, we're going to check their multipliers first to see what we need. So in Quetzalcoatl's case, he does damage based on attack and resistance, so building resistance is really good for him because you're going to scale his damage a little bit and make him more tanky against them. So we're going to be looking for things with resistance. And he also heals allies by 10% of his max HP. If the attack is a strong hit, he'll place a Petrify too, so you might even want some accuracy thrown in there. He really is a unique sort of invoker. His other two abilities don't require anything. He's increasing turn meters and placing speed up, and then his ultimate is placing attack up, sharpen, and accuracy as well. So this just requires him to take lots of turns. In the case of Isis, her damage is based on attack, no resistance there. Her shield is based on 25% of her max HP. So again, you're going to want lots of HP on her. And then her ultimate is just a revive. So in both of these cases and with other sort of healers, HP is largely what you're going to want. And so that is what we're going to focus on. So starting at the top, similar to Aphrodite, initiative would be perfect. Failing that, HP, flat HP like this piece here, and then defense. Now this one is very nice because we've got initiative for our abilities, we've got accuracy for the Petrify, and a lot of speed. So I'm going to take this for now. Now I say for now because at the moment right now my Quetzalcoatl is Awakened 2. If I get it to Awaken 3, the Petrify doesn't need to be a strong hit, and it can't be resisted, so it doesn't need accuracy. So an Awakened 3 Quetzalcoatl straight away takes out the need for accuracy, in which case this helmet here might not be something we want if we can get something with more speed. But because mine doesn't, I'm going to take this one for now. Other options I was considering was this initiative helmet here. It is part of a set that we like too, so maybe we switch over to this for the time being. So shoulders, same formula really, only this time we want to not necessarily avoid defense percentage, but if we can get HP percentage, we would prefer that over anything else because it's going to increase the healing that Quetzalcoatl's doing. So losing 4k, that's a 400 on the hill for 8 more speed. So I don't know if I want that, even though it's part of the Kraken set, and this will be follow essentially a very similar pattern to Aphrodite. Going for this will actually increase our HP in the long run if we pair it up with this chest piece that we had. Whilst we might lose out, I think it was like 10 to 16 speed by going for 2 Falcon, we're gaining the HP for the heal, so this might actually be better off long term. Just going to double check that I haven't got anything else that will fit nicely into place. So between the two, I don't actually have anything that's going to give us lots more speed without reducing our HP too much. So going defense percent isn't horrendous, right? We've got accuracy and we are getting a large chunk up here. So we've gone for that for now. And obviously we're getting the HP benefit from these two pieces. Gloves down here then, for out and out healers, I think just flat HP is the way to go with some speed. So that is what we are going to look for. So this is what I've come to between these two gloves here. I'm getting 400 HP by picking the crit rate gloves, gaining 6 initiative and 22 resistance, which isn't, anything to sort of shake a stick at. The difference is this gives me a 2-piece shrine set, which is increasing my healing by 15%. It was very much a close contender for me. I know I was getting resistance by picking these gloves, but again, I'm not too fussed about the damage, I don't think. So that's why we're sticking with what we've got here. Legs, ideally you want speed. Again, we want them going as often as possible so they can heal as often as possible. But I think it's very important to make sure you've got a HP percent substat. Again, or you flip it. If you've got a 5-star HP percent legs and you've got 26 speed, which I think is the max, do consider taking that as well. Like 21 speed, I think 4-star gives us 39, so it's not that much less. It's still getting an awful lot and some HP. But yeah, we're going to try and find some speed legs with all of the stuff that we need. So I think for what we're trying to do, these are the legs that we landed on. Got some initiative, got some resistance, got some speed. Again, no HP percentage. I would love that in here somewhere. And then coming to boots, once again, we're probably going to take the same ones. Our 5-star speed boots here, giving us some HP and just some overall stats everywhere. The only other thing we would look at is ones to say with initiative, accuracy as well, but I don't think we've got any with initiative and accuracy and everything else that we've got or we're hoping for. These are nice. They're giving us more initiative, taking us over 200, but we're losing 2k HP, and that's not something that I'm a big fan of. These are nice because they're giving us initiative, accuracy, and resistance, so all the other things that we're looking for in this. But again, it's really sort of taking away from everything else that we're doing. So this is our Quetzalcoatl build, or sort of like our healer build, if you will. I'd probably run something similar on Isis and maybe Imhotep. The difference with Imhotep is you're not worried too much about stacking HP on him because his heal is based off of everyone else's max HP. So if you have to go for defense percent, that's absolutely fine. You can just throw whatever on Imhotep, but Isis and Quetzalcoatl, you need the HP, so that's what we focused on for the large part. When it comes to the weapon for this, again, anything with HP percentage, really. Solar Flare doesn't have much of a use now because we're not doing many follow-up attacks. So once again, World Splitter comes into play here. This is HP percent, that would be fabulous. It's not. Another weapon that I love is Grail, because it just increases all sources of healing by 30%. So you're just improving what you're doing. That was at level 1, right? If we continue to take this up, level 50 would take us to 50%, so just increasing all sources of outgoing healing by 50% is fantastic. The other thing to consider for Quetzalcoatl is you might not go for HP bonus over here. You might go for resistance, if we can find one with resistance. I might have just fed them all. There you go. To increase his damage and stop the stuff coming back at him. So yeah, World Splitter, Grail, again, Mjolnir is nice. Thunderbolt is good just to bring some damage in some of these fights. Armeno Niboko has accuracy and resistance, so that could be a nice one to have. and you're going fast, so you might get a chance to steal some more divinity. And then you've got the other ones we spoke about earlier. Kopesh for Quetzalcoatl to land the Petrify if he's not awakened 3, or Shamshir just to get your turn back straight away. So this is our Quetzalcoatl build. So this is again for a more healing focused kind of build, with the Shrine and the Kraken increasing our HP and our Shrine just increasing our outgoing healing. So all in all, it is better overall with the Grail. Now, the one other niche point I want to talk about, I know this is going on very long, is Isolde. Now, Isolde, again, we don't really care what she does because her heal is based on a Mend. So the Mend or heals the ally by their max HP at the start of their turn. But what we want is we would build her more like a hybrid, probably more similar to the Quetzalcoatl build, but we wouldn't care at all really about accuracy or resistance. We would just go for HP and speed, which is, again, I guess more similar to Aphrodite. But the reason for it is we want her to take as many turns as possible so she can use her core as often as possible, increasing our defense and our attack and boosting our turn meter. But the reason why we want something similar to Quetzalcoatl when that HP is more important is because her passive, when an allied defender is attacked, heal our allies by 5% of this hero's max HP. So we don't care for accuracy, we don't care for resistance. We just want her going really fast like Aphrodite and as much HP like Quetzalcoatl to get the biggest benefit out of this. So in this instance, apologies for the yawn, and in an ideal world we would put Falcon pieces on Isolde with the Kraken sets just to boost up her HP. And she is a very common one that we're all going to be using early on. So yeah, make sure you're stacking HP on Isolde and some speed so you can get that defense up as often as possible. So finally, to wrap this up then, gear sets that Invokers like. I'm going to go over them all here regardless of which way you're leaning, but Shrine to increase the healing is fabulous at a 2-piece. It turns into a regen set at 4 and 6. I think that is a bit extreme. Brawler and then Kraken, the sets that increase your HP, are fantastic because 9 times out of 10 it's going to increase your healing, and if it doesn't increase your healing, then just the increased survivability is fabulous. Defender and Bear for the same reason, again just increasing our defense, increasing our survivability. Falcon, more speed equals more turns and more heals in a lot of cases, so another great set. And then any other set really that gives you some survivability. Duelist is okay, decreasing the damage you receive. You don't want 4 or 6 though. And Spectre is another one you could go down to reduce the damage that you receive from incoming attacks. 4-piece will give you Vanish, so it keeps your supports alive for longer as well and stops them being targeted. So that is another route you could go down. Eel is also good for just the initiative. But yeah, that is it for sort of Invokers. So hopefully this has helped you. The too long didn't read for Invokers. 9 times out of 10 when you're building them, the only stats you really care about are speed and HP percentage. You want them to go often, and you want their heals and or shields to be large. Most of them scale from HP. If they don't place heals directly, maybe like an Imhotep, or then just having the HP percentage anyway, is going to give them some staying power and some survivability. Secondary stats, you would probably go for defense percent and resistance. But yeah, speed and HP are king to keep you around and to heal more. Grail is a very good weapon to increase your healing. World Splitter is good just to increase all of your stats overall. And if you want them to do something in the boss fights, Thunderbolt is a good option. Sets that I like, Kraken for, again, to increase your HP, Brawler to increase your HP, Defender to increase your defense, Bear to increase your defense, Shrine increases the healing you do, and then things like Duelist, whilst they're niche, reduce the damage that you've got coming at you, same as Spectre. Thank you very much for watching. Take care and look after yourselves. Work hard, but as always, play harder. And I will see you in another one soon. Cheers.